because I haven't heard about that.
The library did send me some information in response to your email. I just assumed that they had sent that to you as well.
No?
Right, I will forward you what they sent
Okay,
to me because it didn't really do me much good.
okay. No, the
So
I
email said
assumed
to,
that I was copied just as a courtesy, but
no, the email said to contact me and I haven't heard from
John, will you have any numbers for next meeting?
him. Yeah, I can. I
Okay.
mean, what's there right now.
Okay. That would be helpful if you could have plenty of numbers for next time, because we need to get them in for our discussions.
Okay.
I'd appreciate that, thank you.
Is next time just the ABC discussion?
No, next time is the fire department,
Oh,
planning and
fire,
zoning,
of
and
course.
McGregor.
I plugged as much as I can into the budget that you have, except fire for the most part.
Mm,
Did you update the numbers that Linda gave us?
Yes, those were the new numbers that Linda gave me.
No, we mentioned that at some point.
Who? No, can't imagine. Andy's not gonna take an hour.
No, and I mentioned to Pat, if we get approaching 9 o'clock, I'm probably gonna depart because I have to pick my wife up at the airport late tonight.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Who's coming from the nation's 250th?
Pat Jenkins,
For
Okay.
the 250th?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
she doesn't
She's
come.
not planning on coming till 8:30 though, is she? Is she really
Yes.
planning coming that late?
I don't know if she,
There's a creature that's joining us here.
let's see.
Do you know like creatures?
I don't care.
What kind of creature is
It's
it?
a spider.
Oh, spiders are good.
That one is the
That one's- that one-
Spiders usually are good.
I didn't squish it.
You didn't? Okay. I mean, I don't want it near me.
I just put it over there.
You don't want to put that.
I would have put it on a piece of paper and carried it at arm's length and dumped it someplace far away from my body.
Usually I put them outside, however, I'm not going all the way outside right now.
No, I went to
I
push
could
last
put it in the
night.
toilet.
No, not either, that's nice. Oh, this moved.
All right, what's today? 28. It's 7 o'clock in the lovely, well, Pat's building mine. So it's 7 o'clock in the lovely town of Lee, New Hampshire on October 28th, 2025. I turn the meeting over to Pat Barber.
Good evening, everybody. Before we get started, I would just like to draw attention to the passing of one of our former committee members. Dave Benson passed away last week. He was a member of this group and had also served on the Board of Selectmen. He had a very long battle with a very aggressive cancer, and he was only 49 when he died. I would ask you to keep his family and friends in your thoughts.
His service is tomorrow at 10 o'clock at Remick and Gendron in Hampton.
Thank you. I saw
A
that.
small delegation of us are going for that town.
Good. I saw that on the, somebody put it on Facebook, probably you. Tonight, the first item on the agenda is Mr. Robertson.
Okay, I will get started with what are traditionally known as the Select Board's budget. It's the administration budget. It is, the combined administration budgets are the biggest chunk of the town spending. I have a simple PowerPoint I'll run through and just go department by department and stop me and ask questions. So this has not been, I've loaded pretty much everybody except the fire department into this budget model. It has not been approved by the department heads. That will be the next stage. Once I get the fire department in here, this will go back to the department heads as well as town clerk Karen Rossi and Denise to look for typos and things that I have entered incorrectly.
Can I stop you just there?
Yes,
In terms of the budgets, usually, maybe Pat can set me straight, usually numbers that are in brackets are usually negatives.
Yes.
they are.
You already addressed us.
I did when?
About 10 minutes ago.
No,
I didn't listen, I didn't hear that.
yeah, I could not remove the parentheses from the columns when I ran the sheet, so at about 6:20 this evening, I decided that I would leave the parentheses.
Okay. So those are really all,
Right, that is the actual, that's the budget where we finished the year, last year's budget, and then this year's budget request to date under the department FY27.
Thank you.
The first section of the budget is the executive. This is primarily salary. This is myself, the assistant town administrator, the select board, trustees. There are some other expenses in there. We keep a little bit in there for conference, in case a select board member wants to go to an NHMA meeting, that sort of thing. A lot of those have a charge of $35 to $50. Have a supply line in there. The salaries that are shown under the department request are what the actuals are right now after the step and the COLA last year. Those were not increased. That would be up to the board moving forward, whether they're going to offer a COLA or a step this year.
Andy, why is there overtime? Aren't both you and Denise on salary?
I am on salary, Denise is not.
Really?
And I keep the overtime line there, and we expend it in large part for attendance at meetings,
Okay.
which is why hasn't been at the budget committee meetings for the last 2 years, because I don't want to pay her overtime to sit next to me here.
Okay.
So the fiscal year 26 budget did not include the step or the COLA?
I believe it included the step and not the COLA, because
Is it the
the
warrant article?
COLA was a
Okay.
separate warrant article.
Okay.
But, and not a lot of extra in there, but
Okay. Do you know what the step numbers are for these numbers?
I have not included a step.
I know,
Yeah.
but you guys have a step, so like what would it be if you included?
Last year's step was 2.5,
Okay.
and then there was a 2.5 COLA.
Okay,
That is,
all right, thank you, Andy.
Yes.
Moving on to the financial administration budget, salary, software, and IT are the big ticket items. This includes the MTS finance contracted services, which we've gone down in use steadily, so I've lowered that budget line a little bit. It's the bookkeeper, our contract with Back Bay Networks. We're a managed platform for software. We have no real hardware needs in the coming year, short of something blowing up or breaking.
Are we in the last year of our audit?
We are.
So you're anticipating it's going up?
I am very definitely anticipating it's going up. The 2 audit firms I have talked with have assured me that they would be considerably more than last time around. The last year and a half to 2 years, we have spent more on audit than we should have. It's not all under professional audit, I don't believe, but because of the turnover in the town clerk's office, anytime a town clerk leaves, you have to conduct an audit of their books and the tax rolls. So unfortunately, we went through 2 or 3 people in less than 2 years. Some increases in here, again, the salary was the 2.5 and 2.5. I keep a little bit of overtime in there. We haven't used it in the past, but if we had some financial debacle, I would expect to need a little bit of extra for the bookkeeper. And a lot of those I've got, contracted prices or been given prices, so I know whether they're going up or not and can keep them the same.
Andy, when we change town clerks, who does the audit of their stuff?
We use Plodzik to do it.
Okay.
It's a state regulatory requirement that you do it. Hand off. The printer, copier, fax lease agreement is down because we negotiated a much more competitive deal with Canon than we had previously.
That's exciting.
I signed up for a federal government contracting, it's not, you don't have to pay, but it's a service, Omnia, that provides you lower prices from any other municipality that has specific contracts across the country. And Canon had about matched our 5,000 something lease, and when I mentioned that we were members of that, they immediately matched the Omnia price and knocked it down to 3,900, so.
Does that work for anything else?
Well, they have a number of contracts. A lot of it is aimed more at large municipalities and counties, but there are some things, cleaning products, that type of thing, that you can use. Moving on, I've got revaluation of property. I have put out an RFP for the reval this year. This is what we're looking at right here, though. The money for the reval is in a capital reserve fund. This is the assessing services that we get from MRI. And the tax maps are from Cartographic Associates, CAI. Our assessing consists of, we have the assessor in the office 1 day a week. They do pickups for building permits that have been pulled, new construction, that type of thing on that day, and are available to the public. They're available the other 4 days by telephone whenever Denise or I call them. Denise pretty much serves as the assessing clerk the 4 days that they're not there. When people come into the office with an assessing question, Denise tries to handle it. If she can't handle it, she puts them in touch with our assessors, which is Scott Marsh and Sean Main from MRI.
Did you ever follow up with them? Sorry, this is not about.
Yes,
I'm
I
sure
did.
they have identifications, so they're creeping people.
I did follow up with them, and we had a conversation about the importance of it. Sean maintained very definitely that he had his badge on. He does typically wear his badge, and we actually had another complaint this week. And the person complaining sent their Ring door cam shot to Karen Rossi and I to complain about the strange man with no identification, and all you can see in the Ring camera is his identification that says Sean Main, MRI, assessing town of Lee.
Really?
Well, that's
So-
interesting, okay.
But I made it clear to them that it's important that they identify themselves. They also have magnetic placards on the side of their car that identify them as assessing. And it's, I think they're getting a little more attention right now because Sean has a trainee that is with him. So there's 2 of them showing up at your door.
Can we talk about them sending letters though, like warning people that they were coming, or is it just they just show up?
They do try to email or phone call.
Okay, okay.
Are they assessing everybody, or are they
No,
doing specific?
Like building permits, right?
when you pull a building permit for improvement, or if you have a new construction, that sort of thing, it's basically tipped off by code enforcement. They submit changes, and
This isn't like a town-wide one. This is
No,
just.
it's coming.
That's
That's
coming.
next.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We were up for it, but.
that's coming. There's an RFP out right now for our upcoming reval, which would start late winter, early spring, and they would have the results to the select board per the RFP by next September.
September 26th.
Something like that, yes.
Do we have the money? Do we have all the money we need in the trust
Uh,
fund?
I don't know, I haven't seen any bids yet. We've got over $50,000, I think, in that capital
It
reserve
failed one
fund.
year, if I remember correctly.
It failed. Last year, yeah. Not doing the reval will not lower your taxes.
Not doing the reval will, if you vote against it, doesn't stop the reval from taking place.
No,
Yes.
DRA is gonna make us do it.
Great, thank you.
The biggest chunk of the budget, well, actually, legal expenses is not the biggest chunk of the budget. This has been $15,000 for years. We could whittle that down if the board would like. It's fluctuated from almost $5,000 to around $10,000 over the last 4 or 5 years. It has not hit 15. That's not to say that one relatively insignificant legal challenge could eat up $15,000 quickly. The biggest part of the budget is personnel administration. Health insurance and retirement are the bulk of this budget section, more than half of it. Insurance services are through New Hampshire Health Trust and Primex. I was actually talking with the chairwoman before the meeting started tonight, and last year I had looked at proposals from a competitor of the Health Trust that were a little bit cheaper than Health Trust. You may have been reading in the news that that competitor sent their communities and schools that are in their group rather large surcharges in September that are due by January 1st that nobody was expecting. So I'm happy that we stayed with New Hampshire Health Trust. That said, as we get into the budget, I have asked New Hampshire Health Trust for alternative proposals to what we have in place right now. I've also asked a commercial broker, Bill Ball out of Melcher & Prescott, who does municipal and business work, to see what he can give me for competitive quotes as well. We've seen a significant increase in the health insurance rates, and part of the Secretary of State's pressure last year resulted in an automatic 5.9% surcharge for groups like Health Trust and school care, those sort of things, before their loss increase was calculated. So we got an automatic 5.9% increase before they calculated the loss ratios for the Health Trust groups.
But this is a lot more than 5.9% increase.
It is, it's about a 16% increase.
It's a jump on it.
And a big part of that is, unfortunately, there are not a lot of young people flocking to the municipal field of employment. It's an aging group that uses their health coverage.
Yep.
Andy, in prior years, the estimates that we've gotten for budget purposes had been, I guess, uniformly high.
Yes.
And then when we got the actual rates, they came down. Is that still happening every year, and do you think that might?
No, that had happened 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. There was not much difference between the projected rate they provided me and the actual rate, and last year the projected rate was the actual increase. So that has sort of gone away. They used to pad it, they would tell you 7 or 8% and you'd get a 3% increase.
Andy, this is a 31% increase. Is there a typo here, or is it there more people, or?
A 31% increase over what was budgeted
Okay.
last year, yeah.
Yes.
The actual rate increase for the medical portion of it was a 16.2 or 16.4% increase.
So is this number not even near close to what it's actually gonna be this year?
We're going to be extremely tight this year.
Okay.
How many, now, have you got open positions, and how'd you handle that?
We do have some open positions. We typically budget for full positions. We cruised for 3 years probably because we were low in the fire department and we were low in the police department. That is not the case, and in fact I'm budgeting for an extra police officer in this amount that Mr. Dronsfield is planning on bringing on.
Can you give us the spreadsheet that backs up this?
I can give you the spreadsheet, and if I click down here, I've got basically the spreadsheet homogenized. These are the rates we're paying right now. These are the folks we have on the plan right now. This is our dental premium. We also offer a buyout, which is 40% of the single plan, paid quarterly. We have 2 employees that take the buyout right now. I'm waiting to see what happens. We have several employees whose spouses work in school systems. They're under the school care program that have inquired about, what events trigger the ability to change health plans. You can't just switch, but
When is our open
Open
enrollment?
enrollment,
Is it
our
November?
open enrollment is in the spring. We typically
Okay.
runs from May to July.
Okay.
If you have some life-changing, you
No,
lose
of
your
course.
job, get divorced, that sort of thing, you can.
What is this 3 retirees?
We have retirees listed on our plan. We don't pay their premium. A portion of it is paid by New Hampshire Retirement, and they make up the rest. And the 3 retirees we have on the plan are, 2 of them are one retired police officer, one retired police chief, and the other may be librarian. But they show, I'll send you the statement that Scott asked for, the backup. You'll see there are 3 retirees, but we don't contribute. The other benefits included are short-term disability, long-term disability, and life insurance. These are lumped into the medical premium. Some of that is based, obviously, on what your salary is. I have to fill out salary surveys for all the employees and return them. But yeah, I'll send you the health trust statement. I typically just black out the names and forward it. Other big cost in here is retirement. Just to give you the percentages, it's broken into groups, and the groups are actually a little more complicated than shown here. Under police and fire, there is group 2, and then there is group 2E and group 2F, I believe, is the last thing. That, depending on how long you've been in service, some retirees are treated differently. The core percentages for the town of Lee to pay for employees into the New Hampshire retirement system. Group 1 employees are 12.75%. Those are people like myself, my staff, town clerk, that sort of thing. Teachers are 19.23. We don't have to worry about that in this budget. The big hit comes from police and fire. Police for the 26-27 year is 30.95%, and fire is 29.15% for the town's contribution to retirement. So,
Yeah,
Is that a big increase, or there are more people represented here?
there are more people represented here, and one of the things that I ran into a little bit was I got whacked by more senior police officers. When we had a bunch of empty positions, we typically had like a $27 rate calculated for them. Tom was able to hire some qualified, experienced officers from some other departments that came in at a much higher pay rate, which sort of skewed everything. Some of those, some of our senior police department people are at $35 plus an hour.
So we're just gonna be tight too then this year?
We're going to be tight on all of this. Yep. Most of the rest of this is pretty straightforward. The health insurance is what's killing us. And
so do we have, if, we won't have any open positions this year?
as of right now, we are very close to having no open positions. The fire department is fully staffed. The police department has 8 officers. Tom is in the middle of adding this 9th officer. The most recent officer, we got Evan Carey back from the Brentwood department, who had been a former officer here. But again, he's an experienced, well-qualified officer who did not come in at the new officer scale. Just regarding the health, I mentioned that the buyout is 40% of the single plan paid quarterly. The rest of the deductions, Lee pays for 100% of the single plan. The percentages that the employee pays for the 2-person and family, you take the difference of the cost between that plan and the single and multiply it times 0.25. The town picks up the rest. Insurance, property and casualty, I've increased this a little bit. Our rates have gone up in large part. We have a lot of new equipment. We've got new police cruisers, we've got 3 new highway trucks, we've got a new skid steer, made some improvements to buildings. Primex reserves the right to come out and do what they call a value analysis on your buildings and to make sure they're insured to value. That's essentially what's happening there. We have a very good experience mod. Workers' comp isn't shown in this line. It's with personnel administration, but we have a very good experience mod with workers' comp, but that's based on per $100 increments of salary. So if you do a COLA or do a step, that increases your workers' comp costs as well. We're in a relatively good position with workers' comp now. For whatever reason, it tends to be single individuals that sort of repetitively have workers' comp claims, and some of those people who are causing us some claim heartache have moved on, so. One area where we are struggling right now, and not my department, not in here, but that would be the fire department. We have a couple of officers who are out on disability right now, not workers' comp claims, things that happened outside of work, but when you look at the fire department budget, you'll see for this year, we have spent an exorbitant amount of money on overtime, pushing the other staff we have into filling those shifts for the folks that are out on disability.
So I mean, the salary line will be less though?
Doesn't begin to make up for the increase in the overtime line. Sure, the chief will give you the details.
We don't pay the disability.
There's no short-term or long-term disability?
But we may pay the premiums, we don't pay the benefits.
Right.
Right. We pay the premiums, and those are based on position and salary, and included with the health care.
Based on the languages.
Under the general assistance budget, the administration portion is pretty much the same. We use Pam Mattingly. She is out of the Portsmouth City office, and for whatever reason, Portsmouth does not care that Pam contracts with a number of other towns to be their welfare administrator from her desk in the Portsmouth town offices we have a cell phone for her, but pretty much all of their office expenses and supplies and equipment and that sort of thing are covered elsewhere. So I have not called Portsmouth City Hall and asked them if they're concerned about this.
It's been this way for years.
Where you may have some wiggle room is the general assistance budget, and this is a complete crapshoot. We have to pay this. Last year, we thought we were going to be in a bad position, and I would say fortunately that's not really the case, but some of the exposure that we thought we were going to have, it didn't remain in the community, so. But right now, I think we've spent a little over 11,000, coming out of the summer into the heart of fall, and a couple of things concern me. Fuel assistance is, nobody knows exactly what's going to happen with that. The same with SNAP. We have seen in the past 2 weeks increase in electricity bill requests that have been approved by the welfare director and were clearly needed. The town has been extremely lucky, given the role of the Congregational Church. They have stepped into several situations in the last year and a half and paid expenses, picked some things up that we did not have to do through welfare. Pam is also exceptionally good. The true welfare cost is much greater than what's shown in this budget and the expenditure line and what's in front of you. Pam is extremely talented at finding other agencies and other organizations to pick up expenses, ranging from churches in Exeter, churches in Durham, Getting donations from oil companies, that is a specialty of Karen Rossi's, is pressuring propane and oil companies to give us a delivery for next to nothing.
While we're on the subject of welfare things, last week we had 2 agencies that did not appear that we were expecting to have come. One was Oyster River Women Aid, and they sent an email. I ended up with it. Did everybody see it? There was,
Yes,
I believe there was a confusion over.
it went to the
where
town
it was.
office instead of the.
Did anybody hear from Meals on Wheels?
No,
Okay,
neither Denise nor I got.
okay,
The lady that usually comes, she retired, I
Yes.
believe.
She did, yeah.
okay,
No, she's always been very conversational.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know, maybe they're still doing it.
Oh, well, they put in a request. They just didn't send anybody, so, which is fine.
The other thing I'll mention, I probably should have mentioned it while the representative was here. I know we've had some difficulty with Haven in the past year or two. They were extremely curt with Denise when she was attempting to find a bed spot for somebody, and they were also, when I talked to Pam Mattingly about that, she said that's not an uncommon response. She said, I don't.
It's never been the case with that agency.
Hmm.
Back to when they were a safe place in Portsmouth,
Yep.
100 years ago. That's too bad to hear.
Well, I thought it might have been a one-off, but when I talked to Pam Mattingly, she represents 5 towns, including Portsmouth, in the immediate area.
Was it a matter of, it was difficult to get the services, or you couldn't get them at all?
We couldn't get them at all. Pam found a facility in Portsmouth that agreed to take the people outside of that.
Well, I don't know what we do about that, but.
I think it's important that you have that service, because we certainly don't have any shelter available for domestic abuse victims in Lee.
They are really the only one around, too. They really are.
The total administrative budget as it sits right now is a little over $2 million. Then that increase, it knocked it up, is, other than some salary lines, it is the health insurance. If I can get competitive requests back, I'll bring them to the budget committee. I'll certainly be bringing them, whenever I get to this select board, and talking with the select board about strategies to.
Do you anticipate having anything for this budget? Any alternatives?
I'm hoping, yes.
Really?
I received a couple of adjustments from Health Trust, but essentially, one of them made $52,000 worth of difference, which, is nothing to sneeze at, but was not necessarily the reduction in the $250,000 increase that I was looking for.
Because the difference from 2026 to 27, at least what you're asking for is 300,000. It's about 24 cents per 1,000, per 100,000. So you're talking about what, 72 cents? Just in terms of that.
Yeah, it's a huge expense. The health insurance, well, for the last 5 years at least, has been right there with the cost of running the police department or running the fire department or the highway department.
Any other questions for Andy tonight?
I don't have any more good graphics. After the last meeting, Steve assured me that I should put more pictures in my.
I would like to see pictures of
Presentation.
you in action, just like Steve showed us, please.
Can you put in the budget for the county and the school for 25 and? Because it skews the bottom line in terms of if you're looking at those particular things.
What increases are you estimating for those for?
I haven't heard anything. Is the school district gonna come?
I Are they gonna come talk to the budget committee?
They never come talk to the budget.
No, they come to talk to the select.
They do come to talk to the select board, yes.
Are they scheduled at some
I
point?
don't have them scheduled at this time, no.
Can we ask them to come?
They will typically contact us as they've got numbers.
You know, 'cause that's part of the whole setting of the tax rate. They have to set theirs before we can set ours, so.
And I know that they are suffering from the same angst over health insurance. They are actually a school care school as well, and have gotten a healthy surcharge they weren't expecting, as well as their rate increase. The treasurer and I both talked to the SAU about a month ago, because we typically drag our feet before we make the payments, so we can get the interest on our money, and they were very interested in having us pay much earlier than we typically have, so. We've reached sort of a gentleman's agreement where if we're tight, they'll let it go a little bit, and if they're tight, we'll do our best to get a check sent their way.
Have you heard anything about the county?
No, I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything in the newspaper either, so. And do we know, well, we usually get that from the school district in terms of what the state education stuff.
Yeah, that DRA will release that, and they did, they may have released that, so I know I saw a form in the last 10 days, 2 weeks or so from DRA,
Yeah,
so I'll pull that as well.
because the school district usually tells us in terms of, because our percentage is based on appropriation and number of kids attending at the end of September, I think it is. So they usually bring that information and tell us we're getting less money from the state, so your rate's going up, or it's usually not the other way around.
So just to be clear, Andy, the figures you gave us include the position that Chief Dronsfield asked for?
Yes,
Okay. There are no other personnel position changes?
there are not.
Okay.
We've had no new hires. If you know of anyone that is interested in being an assistant in the town clerk's office, I would love to talk to them.
Now, that one, they don't have to be a resident, right?
We would like them to be a resident so they could move into the deputy position, which requires residency, but at this point, we'd be willing to talk to people who are not residents either. And that's part of, as you discussed with Linda's budget, part of what's holding that town clerk budget up is the fact that Linda is staying on. I mean, on my part, I'm grateful that Linda is staying on, but if we can, and Linda is anxious to find a replacement too, but that would have a fairly significant effect on their budget if we could find an assistant that we could move into deputy and let Linda retire again.
Can we steal Rachel back from Durham? No?
Sure can do.
Yeah, she's in charge of that town clerk back there.
Yes, they have 2 town clerk positions, I believe, and she's the
Well, they
senior.
don't need to. She'll come back.
Durham has 2 of everybody.
Just for the rest of the committee, I think you'll see that we did get an updated budget from the town clerk tax collector, which increased the salary to added another $40,000 to their budget, which is probably, given the circumstances, more realistic about how much they're actually gonna need.
I would say so, and particularly given the lack of interest we've had in another employee coming on to replace Linda. I almost think at some point there's going to have to be a regulatory change, because it is so difficult when you throw the residency requirement in on top of this. I mean, you need someone that's qualified, to handle the financial and fiduciary responsibilities of the office, and then to say, oh, and you have to be a resident, it just makes it that much more difficult.
Why is it that way?
State law.
State. What if people request it?
So in terms of how many hours is that, and
We had initially planned it for 24 hours. The person that came on for a brief while and then left was a 24 to 26-hour employee with the understanding that if there was an election, that type of thing.
So it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yep.
Just for all those people listening that might be interested.
Right. And the assistant would not be expected to come in on Tuesday or Thursday. The town clerk or the deputy frequently come in on Tuesday or Thursday to do bank statements or reconcile the books, that sort of thing. The assistant would not be expected to do that.
Any other questions for Andy? Any questions about the updated budget from the town clerk? Are you ladies ready? We're early. Are you ready,
We're
Haley?
ready. Ready when you are.
Do you need a PowerPoint? or a computer?
I did send it, I didn't have one, but I have one, but if you have it on
I
the
was
screen then.
just gonna leave my computer on and attached to the projector if you wanted. I didn't bring a presentation. I didn't know if you had a disk or.
I don't have it, I don't have anything with
I'll
me.
shut this off
I
then.
assume that's why I sent it to you guys last week, but I didn't. Does everybody have a copy?
Yes. Well, I
do.
think everybody has it. Is everybody okay?
Mm-hmm.
Come on down, Haley.
You don't have your email, Andy, or there's no email on the computer?
I'm just not live from at the computer. This is just static.
You should do, you could just do it off the email.
I can try a link.
If you're able to grab it off your email, that would be awesome.
It's a little more complex
More
because of the network security then.
That's okay,
Give me
as
one
long as
minute.
everybody has it.
Get rid of this. Not as complicated as the PowerPoint subscription expiring between 4 o'clock in the afternoon when I tested it for Steve and 7 o'clock in the evening when Steve needed it.
Wow.
Yes, I felt terrible. I'm like, this man does a PowerPoint once a year and I can't get it on the wall for him.
It's always that way.
But you came through in the end. I was impressed.
I actually logged into my wife's PowerPoint using her email.
Whatever.
It works.
It worked.
Oh, am I good sitting here, would you want me over there?
No, you're fine where you
Move
are.
the mic over so they can hear you. You could.
Yeah, take the whole thing, Haley.
No, just take the mic off.
Oh, take the whole-
Yeah, sure, okay, there you go.
How's that?
That's way.
Okay.
Visible.
And if you can't get it, Andy, don't worry, because I think
think
it's
everybody
looking
has
like
it.
everybody has it. And I did give Annie a copy.
It is not letting me through the firewall.
Sorry, Annie.
No problem.
Well, thank you for having me tonight. My name's Hayley, I'm the library director. A couple of the trustees are also here to answer any questions that you guys have. So I'll start going through the budget. No fancy pictures, just facts, unfortunately. You want fancy pictures, we can do that next time. So going into 24-25 operations, the library did provide the community with access to full library services. So we opened back up fully after the renovation in August, and we went headstrong into everything that we had done previous. So we did collection checkout, interlibrary loans were back, computer access was back, copying, printing, faxing was back, all the museum passes, library of things, downloadable access, and we hosted 479 multi-generational programs. Examples of which, I didn't obviously list them all, but examples are in the PowerPoint presentation there. And also Judy Belanger, our Youth Services Librarian, won the 2024 Children's Librarian of the Year Award. So that was a nice accomplishment for us last year, and for Judy. Looking at our operations budget, as you can see, there was lots of fluctuation last year. We spent total of $76,606.86. And as you can see from the previous year, we had some carryover. Things were a little up and down because of the renovation, and we carried over, we had residual funds of just short of $8,000 the previous year, which we knew we would spend last year. And as you can see, we did spend it last year. We overspent on our book budget. So our budget in 25 was $16,500. We actually spent $18,500. Many reasons for that. Obviously, we weeded out our collection, ready for the renovation, and we wanted to replenish, which we did. Books have also increased in price pretty dramatically. In some extents, we're paying sometimes up to $30 a book, which is just beyond belief right now. We've got the additional issue this year of one of our major wholesalers closing down, so we're having problems with that right now. So we did go a little over budget on our print budget. Other things that we went a little over on, electricity costs went up. They increased by more than $1,600. It looks, when you look at our programming budget, very scary. It looks like we went majorly over budget, but what happens with our programming is our friends of the library, they sponsor much of our programming. So they give us designated donations for children's programs, events, program snacks, and things like that. So the Friends actually funded just over $6,000 in our program budget. So it looks scarier than it is. It looks scary, but it's not. Other things that we were upside down with, electric, like I said. And we received more in designated donations than we might usually receive. So, like I say, the Friends funded quite a lot this year. We spent all our residual funds from the previous year. So we're asking this year for an increase of 5.4%, which is $3,000. That is mainly to cover the increase in electricity costs and in the book budget. We've tried to keep the budget similar to that we had last year. Like I say, just increasing minor areas in the book budget and also in electricity. So we're not asking for a huge amount. It's $3,000, but it makes a big difference to the library. Any questions about the budget going forward or previous?
Why is the electric up so much? Is that just the rates?
It's just the rates. Yeah. Because we did switch to LEDs everywhere, which we did.
I was expecting you to go the other direction.
And it should. We're doing lots. We've had insulation throughout the building. We switched to LEDs. We're doing all the energy saving we can, but the electric costs are just higher, unfortunately.
They approved an increase of like 50%.
Andy, the copier that's on here, can that be under that thing you were speaking about earlier about the better copier rate?
It's conceivable if the contract is up. And it's been a while since I sent it to the department heads, but I can send that again. We have the ability to match federal contract prices on a number of things, including copiers.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be great to have the information. We've had our copier just over a year, so I'll look at the contract and see when our contract is up. I'm not sure if it's an 18 months or a 3-year or a year. I need to look, but I appreciate that. Thank you. Just going into slide number 5, looking at operational expenses and library stats. Just some examples of how much things increased last year. As you can see, electricity increased, printing costs increased, and non-digital items increased. The problem with non-digital and our downloadable system is we're governed by the state with that kind of stuff. So yes, every library has a vote as to how much we would like the budget to be, but it's a vote system. So unfortunately, however many librarians vote for however much they want in the budget, we get 3 choices, and usually it roundabouts at the middle choice. But it increased last year by $1,000 for us. Next year, hopefully not so much. It's looking like it's only going to increase by about $300, but it made a big difference last year. And we've also changed our policies and procedures with regard to this, trying to have our library cards renewed every year, because people move out of town, they still claim on the state for their downloadables. So to kind of compensate for that, we have people come back into the library every year to renew their cards, so that if they've gone out of town, they can't access our downloadable services. Which seems very mean, but it really makes a big impact on the library budget of small libraries. So we're doing our best with that. Program attendance, we're on par with last year for program attendance, although we've hosted more programs than we did last year. And I think it's important to note that we take part in the Oyster River Community Reads, which is a huge community-wide event. It lasts for 3 months and it's done every other year. So our programming on that year that it's done rockets, and then the following year it comes down, and then it goes up, and then it comes down. So last year our programming, even though our numbers are very similar, we didn't really decrease by more than 100 attendees. Next year it will go up again because we're part of the Oyster River Community Reads, which hosts about 70 programs in the space of 3 months. So it's a big deal, and it makes a big difference in our programming numbers. Our computer use also went down. I think our computers are pretty hidden where they are, so we're coming up with a new system in the library to check them out as you would check out a book, because I think people sneak on them without us seeing. So it's hard to monitor who's going on and off the computer. So we're looking at our monitoring system a little better. We continue to provide delivery to the housebound patrons. Michelle does this, and she's been doing it for a number of years now, and that seems to increase every year. People that get stuck and they aren't able to come out of the home, Michelle will go and deliver books to them. Last year she delivered 136 times, and it was an increase of 4.4%. For our salary proposal this year, I say this every year, we are so lucky to have such a dedicated team at the library. I like to show appreciation for their longevity. Michelle has just celebrated 30 years with us. Judy has been there 7 or 8. Cheryl is coming up 20. Well, our staff are there for a long time and they're committed. So we're not asking for a huge increase. 3.58% is what we're asking for on our salary line. And again, that is in recognition of staff retention and to be able to continue to provide the services that we offer. Keep our staff happy. Any questions about that?
The DPW director and myself and a man from the well drilling company paid a visit to your basement
I saw.
this morning and are in the process of getting quotes for a central well that will bring forth potable water to the library.
It would be
And
wonderful.
the buildings there. So,
Yeah, so the library becomes the distribution point for the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna reuse the lines that go from the annex to the library and the ones from the old town hall, correct?
The plan would be to try to backfeed with a central plug-in to the library basement and putting the filtration equipment that's needed there, and then backfeed to the old town hall and the other buildings. Although we discovered today that the location of the well is not really up to us, that DES will send some people to tell us where the well can go, regardless of where we think it should go. So,
And that doesn't matter what future plans you have for future buildings in the area?
we can give them our future plans and such, but there were some criteria that neither the DPW director or myself were aware of. Like, you have to be a certain distance from propane tanks, you have to be a certain distance from the highway, you have to be a certain distance from any place where dumpsters might be stored. We had focused on sanitary setbacks from septic, and there are septic tanks there, not leach fields beyond the dry well, and there was quite a bit more criteria that we had not considered, so.
We'll see what they have to say then.
Looking at slide 7, revenue support. We've had the biggest revenue support ever last year than in previous years. We had a grant of $1,200 and that funded a senior tech program, a senior tech workshop, which has run from April until December. It's still going. We've had refunds and reimbursements mainly for programming. So when I say that programming number looks scary, we do get money back not just from the Friends, but from New Hampshire Humanities and from other libraries too. So we've had some reimbursements come back for programming. Non-residence fees, interest on our accounts, gifts and donations. Our Friends donations count as gift and donations because they designate them to programs. We've also had copier income, which has increased, and our book sale has increased. We have a wonderful lady on the trustee committee who has been selling our books for us, which has managed to be quite profitable this year. And those books were donated to us by patrons, which has been great. Obviously, we can't anticipate that's going to happen next year, and we just got lucky. So we've been very lucky with revenue support this year. For anticipated funds for next year, obviously every year we say the same thing. It's very difficult to anticipate what money you're going to have for donations and if we're going to receive any grants and how much the Friends are going to be able to contribute. So for the book sale, fines and lost titles and non-residence fees, I took an average of the past 4 years. For the copier and fax income, I took an average over the % increase over the last 3 years and added it to the 25 total. For the interest income, there was an increase of 9.4% from 24 to 25, so I calculated that on the same growth. Obviously, those are just estimates. We can't guarantee what those numbers are, but I'm estimating a total revenue for 2026 of $4,800 and change.
Haley, what is the refunds and reimbursement line?
Refunds and reimbursements, so things like programming. So when I do a New Hampshire Humanities program, they'll fund like $300, so you get that money because we pay for it first and it comes back as a reimbursement. So things like that. We split programming with Durham and Madbury too. So sometimes we'll do a big program that costs $600 or $700 and they'll reimburse, one of us will pay for it and then we get reimbursed from the other library. So usually that money comes as programming money back to us that we spend on programming. That's the biggest thing that we get reimbursements for.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions on that one? Sorry. The financial report for 24-25, we ended the operations account with just over $1,000 in the account, $1,200 in the accounts. Non-lapsing, we ended with just short of 10,000. Savings, we ended 3,500, and the savings account we had 33,000, just over. It all kind of speaks for itself without me going through line by line.
So what are you doing with those funds?
So the operational account obviously just stays in the operational budget because that's funds left over from invoices and bills that we had at the end of the year. Everything at the moment, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Deb, is on the sidelines for the vestibule project. So usually the non-lapsing funds, they will go in the account in case we need to transfer some money over if we're over budget or if my book budget goes over and I need some more money from that. At the moment with the vestibule project, it's all earmarked for that project right now.
So the 20,000 grant you already received, and that's in the special 5-month CD?
No, that is that's part of the town money right now. That's in the Andy's bank.
So
somewhere.
What are you planning to do with that $30,000?
Vestibule. That will go towards a vestibule project.
Okay.
Haley, if your operations account goes negative, can you take money from any of the other accounts?
The non-lapsing, that's what we use the non-lapsing account for, yeah.
You've had some money in there for a while, but this year you got down kind of low.
Well, we did, which we knew we would. Like I say, we were saving a lot of money. I know I started right at the beginning of 22, and we downscaled everything, supplies, book ordering, everything was kind of downscaled in preparation for the renovation. So we knew that money would get spent now, which it has. So yeah, the operations account is pretty low now, and that is when if I mean, I'm very good at staying on budget, but if it did happen to go over, that's where we would draw from the non-lapsing
So
account. Yeah.
you do have an alternative.
We do, yes, and the money that's, and I always say this all the time, why does it go into the non-lapsing? Because I spend money on the copier and I spend money, you know, it's like I pay for books and the fines that come back from the books go into the non-lapsing account, but then I have to rebuy the book for my operations, so it's like I'm double spending the money. So that money's there just in case we need to transfer that back over. Any other questions? All right, let's move it to slide 9, Friends of the Library. This is just a breakdown of what the Friends have funded this year. Mostly the Friends fund programming, museum passes, programming. They do the holiday concert every year. They recently started paying for our movie license. We do 3 movie nights a month for our book clubs. So they pay for that license through the state. They bought some equipment for the library this year for I guess it could go into programming because they bought chairs for our teens. Our teen group got bigger, went from 5 people to something ridiculous. So we needed more chairs, so they bought those for us this year. So they're very supportive, and they do really provide a lot of help with our programming and the events that we offer to the community. And that, my friends, is all I have.
You also have some beautiful pictures here on the last slide.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Thank you. We have to show the library off somewhere. And it's looking great. It's doing great. We're very busy at the moment. People coming and going. I feel like more people are getting back in the building now after the renovation. So it does seem to be getting busier, which is good for us.
Anyone have any questions for Haley? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have two-stage authentication that will allow me to open my email if I can open the email that they sent me.
Why can't you open it on your phone?
No, because this is not a secure phone, so it
Are you really,
pick up town.
you're really, oh gosh.
really losing here, huh?
Scott, I didn't really want to ask them if they would meet with John.
They haven't met with
They
John
haven't,
for
they didn't
years.
meet with him
No.
last year anyway.
They didn't last year either.
Yeah.
But the town administrator said he received something.
I received, and it was in response to your email request, so I just assumed that I was a courtesy copy on that, and John told me that that's not the case, so I'm going to send it back to them tomorrow and suggest that they send it to Mr. Tappan.
Well, you can send it to me directly, but
I'll send it to you directly, but I will also send it to them.
Yeah, to make sure that they don't do that again.
Mhm.
Send it to John.
Well, it is 8 o'clock.
Scott, aren't you a 250 person?
Yeah,
Well,
If Pat Jenkins is coming,
she said she was coming.
Somebody, we did ask her to come sooner.
Or you can tell her
8:30?
not to come, and I can just tell
and
you.
Scott
You
can
can
do
just
it.
tell
That's
us.
why I was saying
I think
Scott.
that would probably be a better solution.
Whichever you'd like.
Don't drag her out of the house if
Then we
you
don't
have
have to
to.
sit here for another
Now.
hour.
Board of Selectmen go home and ABC can stick.
Gave her that plan.
Okay, that was the plan. Oh, it doesn't say it on here, sorry, wrong
This
day.
isn't the day for your internal budget discussion.
Yeah, that's coming up on the,
I don't drive past your house in the evening and your decorations up, but
Oh, yeah.
are we going?
What?
Come down
The 18th.
on Saturday.
That's a terrible discussions.
The 250th?
No, the internal budget
I suppose
discussion.
We were gonna do that last week and we didn't have time. and we
You
were
failed
doing the
out.
others. I did not move it anywhere.
Oh, good. So it's not necessarily after tonight.
No, I have a couple comments to make, but no.
So she's not answering, so either she's on your way or if she was home, she would answer the phone, so. Either she's on her way.
But we can fix those pictures I was
Not
saying.
cell phone.
Because I'm gonna tell you what's going on.
I have straightened those pictures like 19 times. I
Isn't
think
that
fire
weird?
personnel come in and adjust.
And they
them
just
slightly.
bang around,
Just to
yes.
annoy you? Me? Just to annoy us?
I know,
Hmm,
they're totally all crooked.
I know.
That's right, we don't see straight anyways.
One thing it didn't say in the information they gave us on the 250th is when it's actually, when is the celebration actually happen? Are they-
Which one?
The 250th.
Oh, just to let you know, and I don't know who it is, but somebody at the town offices wants to know when the Nation's 250 Committee is gonna offer a program. And I don't know who it is,
Wasn't I?
but they were giving them a hard time, they were giving Lori Gunn a hard time because we haven't done anything. And we've had so many Native American programs and so many,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, somebody's like scratching our head. I do not have her cell phone number.
You know,
No.
the only controversy over anything to do with that I was aware of was we had a request to add logos to a poster for,
And I did, and she
Okay.
couldn't, for some reason, I showed her a screenshot and I captured it, and there's the logos, I put them down there, but when she gets them, they're not there.
Hmm.
So, that's why you guys published it without the two logos at the bottom, but I put them on,
okay.
so I
You have
I
to
will,
expand the picture.
I have a whole graphic program I
When
may
is
be
the
able to.
gala? There's a music
So-
gala here. When is the gala?
The gala is August 6, 2026. It's a Friday night, Flag Hill. The parade is the 26th of June, 2026. There's a meeting, the next meeting that we have is a meeting between the Fair Committee and the 250th, because they were gonna have, the parade is on Saturday. They were gonna have a family fun night on Wednesday, the previous Wednesday. So it was like, okay, maybe we can combine these two. So that's what our next meeting is. But the parade's on Saturday. They're gonna plan on having the parade, and then there's gonna be activities, fireworks or whatever. They're gonna see if they can get people to camp overnight, and there's gonna be some activities on Sunday. Not too many on Sunday, but. And on August 6th, I think it's the 6th, it's a Friday, there's going to be a gala, so there's going to be food, there's going to be a band, there's going to be activities. We will not be having any elk balls, because that caused a problem last time.
What
Wait,
were
wait,
they?
I'm sorry, what?
Elk balls.
The hell is that?
I thought you said Alpo.
No, ELKBALLS.
So I thought
You
you
served
said.
elk balls?
Yes, we did.
Oh,
What,
and people didn't
What
like
I'm
it?
sorry, can you, is that, I'm sorry, is it the balls of an elk?
No.
It's
that what you're saying?
meatballs.
They're meatballs,
Oh,
baby.
where's your, oh,
I just
you're
can't
in the
figure out what
gutter.
you're talking about.
You're in the
Well, some
gutter.
people say moose balls, and that's.
No, it's elk meat from the Griswolds. Back then they had elk.
Yeah.
So there's elk meat made into like a meatball.
Oh.
And there was this one gentleman who decided that if he can stick so many in his mouth, that would be great. But he choked, and certain John Shea had to give him the Heimlich maneuver. So we decided
Okay.
we will not be having any more elk balls. I told
Are you
Mr.
just
Griswold
gonna-
yesterday when I met him in Market Basket, we will not be using those elk balls.
As opposed to Rocky Mountain Noise.
Rocky Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. I'm sorry, it's all dead animals for me, so.
Okay.
if I start this conversation?
And then there'll be, the theme of the night is you dress up in your own culture. If you want to dress up as colonial, if you want to dress up as French Canadian, lederhosen, whatever you want to do. It's for you to celebrate your heritage, whatever that happens to be. So,
Okay.
Open.
we're not, no, there's no open bar.
No.
You
I
gotta-
Open
you gotta-
whatever you want to
that's
dress.
So we're working on terms of
I don't
times.
drink.
We're trying to get the Freeze Brothers back again. They were there before, so there'll be a place for dancing if you want to dance. There'll be some activities. We had a trivia contest last night with prizes. Depending on costumes, we'll have another costume prize. So it should be a fun time. And we're working with Flag Hill in terms of developing the menu. Most likely what we're gonna have is gonna have a buffet. Last time we had sit-down seating, I believe, but this time it's gonna be a buffet, so. But
And
they'll,
then we're selling tickets to that, is that? 'cause-
nope, we're not doing
Little
anything
River,
in terms of tickets.
Or
Flag Hill's
the
handling all
gala's
that.
gonna be at
But,
Flag
so
Hill.
Flag Hill's selling tickets.
Oh,
Flag Hill
Because
selling
you
the
only
tickets.
got expenses here for $2,200.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
was
so
gonna say,
Flag
well,
Hill is
coverage.
doing all they're taking the reservations, they're taking the money, so Denise won't have to deal with it.
Good.
They're also creating, and it's available at Flag Hill, a wine with a special label for the nation's
Very
250th
good.
release. Part of that particular price that you're gonna pay for that is, I believe it's $2 or $3. They're gonna donate that money back to the nation's 250th to defray expenses. So that was very nice of Mr. Ferguson.
So they're gonna give it back to this committee,
Well, basically the
Yeah,
town, yeah,
the town.
back to the town, so, but yeah.
Out of curiosity, where'd you come up with the 6,700? I mean,
That's what we calculated in terms of what,
Numbers are-
what we need for those particular programs, so.
okay, so you didn't start out with an idea that you wanted to keep it at,
No,
Whatever.
we came up with what we needed, that's what we think we need in terms of having it be a
Oh, okay.
success. So, somebody said, why don't we make it 6,701 cents? So that doesn't sound very, we did pick that up. We decided not to do the 1 cent, so.
do we still do fireworks?
Yes and no. If we had an event, we probably would have
We
them.
didn't have
I think we
the-
still have a credit from last year. I think we
We
do.
do have some money left from last year when we
Yeah.
did not have fireworks.
Yeah. 'Cause- yeah.
Because we didn't.
What happened to the fundraising that you guys were doing with the mugs and the?
Yep, that money's coming in. Things are not selling, we're selling some stuff. We sell through the library. They're very nice about helping us out. So we have sold some stuff. I just got the numbers from Andy, a week or two ago, and I haven't gone through them
Oh,
yet.
yeah, I don't remember exactly what they were either, but.
But it's not gangbusters
Are
because
there like
people,
shirts and sweatshirts?
yeah,
and
they're at the
stuff?
library.
Okay.
We have been selling some of them, but not too much at the moment. As we get closer, I suspect people are gonna be clamoring for them. Like the last time we did this is 2015, 16. We had those wine glasses, and we ordered the same amount this time, and we sold maybe half a dozen, but not many. Last time we sold completely out. Mugs were popular too, we sold out all of those. We still have shirts from the 2016, so
gosh.
if you need one of those, we got those too. But I don't know if you want me to go through the list in terms of what it was, but everybody got a copy, so if you have any questions, but
Well, I'm worried about Pat.
well, 20 minutes, what is it, 10 minutes past?
So these expenses represent just the gala and the parade?
Basically, yes, because the money that we're given this year is basically for the parade. One of the things we're noticing from 2015, 16, when we did the parade, is everybody wants some money. Many of them showed up last time in 2016 when we did the parade, and it was like, oh, great, we'll do this. Many of the places we're contacting now, they want a little honorarium, so.
Well,
Okay.
Which is,
that's reasonable.
and they're not atrocious in terms of what they're asking for. Many of them are like $500. The First New Hampshire Regiment, which does the military stuff, they want $1,000, but they bring a cannon too, so,
Oh, can they,
you can't get a cannon for, $1,000.
Could
But
be traditional and give them a barrel of rum.
I don't think we can provide alcohol
Probably not a
anyway,
good
so.
idea.
But yeah, so I think they're the
Root
most
beer.
expensive one. Many of the school bands that we have contacted, they're interested in providing that particular service. Last time it was hard to get people. But they're looking for, $300 or $400, something to help their programs or whatever they're doing. I think Oyster River uses there to go on some kind of trip or something with the
They've been on a
band.
trip every couple of years.
Yeah,
Are
so,
you running into cases where people say, gee, there's already something scheduled for that date, or?
well, that's why we picked that date. Because we were thinking about doing it on the 4th of July, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna want
Anything.
that, so that's why we picked that date, it's like basically the week before. So, and then the other thing is, the last time we did that particular parade, we kind of interfered with the one in Exeter. What is it called? The Revolutionary,
Revolutionary War Days,
yeah.
that they do like a week after the 4th of July.
I'm not sure, but 2016, we came up and we were doing it at the same time they were. So many people said, okay, we saw the parade, now we're going to this other thing that we didn't want to see, so.
I probably went to the other one.
And also, back and forth in terms of a mass tree. When we contacted Eric, Eric said, no way, he's too busy. But then he keeps coming back and saying, well, do you want me to do the mass tree? So we said, Eric, if you want to coordinate, that's
You mean
fine.
with the
Big wheels.
Yeah.
the animals and
Bumper
everything?
wheels, yeah. So I'm not sure. If he wants to do it, that's fine. The committee's too small this year to, take on more than what we already committed to, so.
That was winter when we did it last time.
No, this would be getting a tree, putting it on the bumper wheels and pulling it in the parade.
Oh, not going out and getting a tree out of the woods with the creatures like we did last time.
Don Quigley on next week from this Thursday, he's doing a program downstairs about the mass tree and the political implications, not how you harvest a tree or whatever, what it's used for, but the political ramifications. So that'll be downstairs. I believe it's at 7 o'clock. So, but yeah. So it should be fun. We're having also some more programming in terms of the mass trees. So there's some programs this fall and spring, so there's gonna be more things, so. But we were just flabbergasted that whoever said, we haven't done anything. We've done tons of stuff, so, but.
I'll see if I can squeeze a name out of somebody.
I don't know, Laura said, she just said that somebody at the town hall pulled her aside and said, when are you guys just gonna do something for the 250th? And I was like, what? We've done tons of stuff already, so.
Here she is.
There she is.
Good evening, Pat.
Now, don't tell her that I told you any of that.
No, we'll keep it quiet.
Hello. Good evening. You're on.
I'm
You
on.
get to sit up the hot seat over here.
Okay,
Get you some audio enhancement.
thank you, sir. I didn't know I was late.
You're not.
You're
You're
early.
not. You're early.
For the time that you were given. We just got done.
We finished the other things we had to do early, so you're not late at all.
Okay. Then here I am.
I think everyone has the email that you sent to Scott, that someone sent to Scott with the budget that you'd like to do.
Okay. So, everybody's seen it? Does anybody have questions or? I mean, I think it's self-explanatory, but, the 250th committee obviously is trying to put on a good show. We've been working at it, doing it for, well, it's our third year, because we started with the indigenous people, and then colonial development, and now we're in the national part of it, so 250 years old. I think some of you may remember when we celebrated 250 years with Lee,
Lee, yes,
so
we were just talking about that.
we're at it again.
We should make them say semi-quincentennial and make them
Oh,
Spanish.
yeah.
Oh,
Let's have
yeah.
a spelling contest, that'll be fun.
I really tried to get everybody to put that on a t-shirt, but it,
Oh, we still have 2 left.
mhm,
They're ladies' smalls,
okay.
but, no takers so far. I tried to get them to buy some 2016 t-shirts from the semi-quincentennial, but nobody was interested.
Nobody was
Trying to
interested
push
in
them,
that one, yeah.
When's the
takers.
parade?
What?
When's the parade?
When's the parade?
26th
The
of
the parade is the
June.
27th of June.
Isn't that make it this fiscal year?
I can't hear you.
Yes, but
Okay,
there'll be expenses afterwards,
okay.
so.
It'll there'll be expenses a week afterwards, so
Yeah, which is
Okay, so
basically-
we're
right into the next
We're
fiscal
paying for
year.
them into the next fiscal year, okay. I was confusing here.
Turn up my hearing aid, see if I can hear you. I don't know why I can't. It's usually fine.
I can talk louder. I'm
Well, it may be
happy
me.
to do that.
It may be me. I can figure out how to put it, come on.
Well, I only told them about, we're not gonna have any elk balls, so that was a lively discussion, so you don't have to cover that.
You did,
Yes, I did.
you did.
When your son-in-law had to do the Heimlich maneuver on that guy that decided to shove all those balls
Maybe
out.
just don't invite that guy.
I don't have
That's
a
what I
name.
was
Sounds like he's a moron. Don't invite him. Or survival of the fittest. It is what it is.
Did you folks get any guidelines from like the government about what kind of
The
celebration?
government, basically, they wanna sell you stuff, and that's about it. State's doing almost
Interesting.
nothing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
On either level, beginning to see things on the federal level.
Mhm.
State, I don't think has even met.
No. Janet Wall is a representative, one of the representatives on the committee. She says they haven't met, so,
Yeah,
Well, they've had a few things going on in
well,
Congress.
they got other problems, I guess.
they have,
Right, Eric?
and besides, they forgot who the chair was.
Yep.
We're giving the joke. Inspires lots of confidence, doesn't it?
So anyway, yes, the parade is the last weekend in June, rather than to compete with the 4th of July and all of that, because everybody's going to be having a parade, if anybody is. So we want to be able to have the people that we want in the parade. Some of them have said they're interested, but they're not signing up for anything quite yet. So it's coming. So that's in its whatever. And as far as the gala, everybody remember the gala that we had last time? The woman with the ship on her head?
The what on her head?
Ship,
The ship.
S-H-I-P.
Okay.
Ship.
Spelling bee.
It's not French yet.
Chapeau.
Yes,
It
Chapeau
took us
would
a
be
while to
French for
figure
him.
out who it was, but we got it figured out,
Yeah.
yeah.
Pat, do you think this is enough money for you guys to do what you want?
Is it ever enough money to do what we want?
Good point,
We tried very hard not to ask for more than we could use. I mean, for more than would have really made more of a show. We're trying to be aware, okay? So we hope it's sufficient.
Okay.
And we're
I
also
hope you all
working
hear
with
that.
I heard that.
working with Eric to have, they only have the usual supper that they have,
Mhm.
so getting Eric to do that, so. I don't think we've finalized that, but
No, we don't know what that one is going to be.
that would be the hope. So basically, you know, when we have the fair, when we haven't had it for like, what, 3 years?
Yeah.
So basically, you know, the nation's 250th and the fair are kind of combined.
Yeah.
That's why the next meeting we have is with the fair committee, so hopefully we can do something together.
Have that big barbecue dinner and
Yeah.
all that.
So that would be the goal, because I think people miss the fair, so, but we'll see.
No, I think you're right. A lot of people talk about that there.
Well,
We definitely missed that dinner.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a good get together.
The fair was good too.
but also the fair committee is, they don't have enough volunteers.
Yes, of course.
I don't remember which one, they canceled it because they didn't have enough people to assist, so.
But I had volunteered and then they canceled it.
Well, because you volunteered, that's why you volunteered.
You were the
That's
kids
what
at that time.
that's what I thought.
Oh, Murray's
Karen
gonna
just
be
was
there.
like, oh, Tom volunteered, all right.
It's-
But it's a big problem in terms of if if you wanna have that particular event, people have to volunteer to assist, so.
That's a problem that
It's a lot
goes
of
across the town for a lot of things.
Yeah.
It is help that holds up a lot of things, and in fact, the committees that I'm on need replacement
Mm.
badly. We need more people. I know two of us on the Heritage Commission, for instance, we're done, but we're still there. So how do you get people in for these things? It's a problem. That's not why I'm here, but
That's true.
that is a problem.
Recruit.
As to,
Does anyone
Having
have
help.
questions for Pat on the budget for the 250?
Is the porta potty an additional to the one we already have? Is it going someplace else?
We contract for more.
We're getting extra, so it is additional to the one that's already, yeah.
Yeah, so they usually come, I don't know, a few days beforehand. We'd probably use the same firm, but, you know, depending on how many people, I don't remember how many we got last time, 5 or 6 at least.
Yeah, I don't know how many.
Except for that one that, never mind.
All right,
But yeah,
That was
there'll
it.
be extra ones because I don't know how many people, 200, 300, 400 people show up
Yeah, you need it.
during the day. You need more than
That's fair.
one, so.
is there any hope of getting any sort of sponsorship or
We
anything?
haven't explored that yet,
Okay,
but yeah. That's what we need Karen Rossi for, so if the fair committee comes in with us, because we know she strong arms people to get.
She definitely
She's
does.
very good at getting people
You
together.
can get Tom Gronsfield and Karen together there.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
Pretty much
they're both on the
guaranteed.
fair
That's
committee.
we have to get Tom really on board for the parade. He balks at that, but with all the state roads we have in town, I understand it, but, you know, we have to keep him happy.
And we've always talked to Mr. Quigley. He's kind of committed to doing the MC job. So last time we had Mike Ward,
Mike Ward, you know.
but Mr. Quigley said that he might do it, but he hasn't totally committed as far as I know.
I really hope he does. Does a good job.
So good job.
He does a
Yeah.
good job.
So we probably set him up in the town center like we had Mike, and he will have a script to read from, so talking about each of the parade entries, so. And I don't know how many float applications Jan's got.
They're
She's
beginning
got a
to
few.
come in, but no, she's been away so that
Yeah.
we really haven't had too much conversation about that yet.
But just like the tour, we did in 2016, we'll have a meeting with all the people that are gonna be in the parade for floats, so that they know the rules, because that's a big thing, because that's part of our liability issue. We don't want what happened in Portsmouth, the little kid, so, yeah, so there's rules.
And our parade is before our gala. And hopefully there'll be people that have floats and things like that they can carry over to the gala, because we hope to have many people dress in costume, so to speak, not just for the bicentennial, semi-quincentennial part of the national, but with their heritage. We'd like to get as much interest as possible, and maybe some of these people can combine it with what they do for a float, which would,
Yeah.
just tie it together, and maybe we can recognize it a little more, get a little more interest. Because the two do follow each other, it would kind of bring everything together. So I'm hoping that will happen, and hoping we will have lots of things for the parade. I have a stack of cards that we'd made out for all the entries in the last parade, and it's a stack. It's a stack. And,
The other thing that we've done is we've had a conversation with the VFW commander, and we spoke to him about providing those little American flags for the kids. So they've committed to provide flags. I haven't talked about how many, but they're hoping to get a flag for every little kid, so that the little kids on the parade route will be able to. So they've committed to that, so that was very nice of them. That's something we don't have to pay for.
yeah, get as much participation as possible. And there, if you go to Google, Lee, New Hampshire 250th celebration, you can keep up with some of the things we're doing. We hope to keep up with all of it so that people can find it and do some advertising. And so to answer your question, maybe. Okay?
Well, thank you very much for coming this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, I believe we are done for this evening. Unless anyone has anything else they wanted to discuss.
Oh, good, I get credit for coming in early.
You
Oh.
do.
We
Absolutely.
appreciate
We're
you
very
very
happy to
much.
see you early.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody like to make a motion to adjourn the ABC?
Motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Thanks to
Mr.
me.
Selectman, you are on again.
Anything?
No.
The two of you?
No.
Anything? So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Sorry.
Thank you, Dan.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
We got that under control.
I didn't take one.
Ann says she's been seeing you, but
Oh, yes.
Yes, it's fortunate that we both have to eat because we meet in the market.
We only have one more night of presentations. Next week is the fire department and planning.
Fire rescue, ambulance, and planning, zoning, and rec.